do you think we mean by anxiety culture? Why give all this attention to anxiety? How is anxiety perceived across cultures and in different socio-political and economic contexts? What is the role and responsibility of our social mediating structures, especially schools and education, to address anxiety culture? What are the long-term impacts and costs of an anxiety culture for all of this? I think resilience is being found by psychologists to be a very important concept. And there's no question that anxiety is a pervasive feature of modern life. I think we all feel, again, that medical idiom, that individual concern every day. And anxiety is something that we have to cope with on a regular basis. Think about when you're anxious, what do you feel like? You feel that narrowing, you feel that constriction, and you feel that in your chest and you feel it in your throat often. If anxiety culture is about having fears, they are much more generated by feeling the pulse of a contemporary life and the struggling to conceive of the future than by a cold analytic study of the present. As Søren Kierkegaard, the Danish existential philosopher and social critic, put it, anxiety really is our best teacher. And as it did for the characters in W.H. Auden's Age of Anxiety poem, it invites us to meditate on our lives, on our hopes and our losses, and on our human condition.
So what are the things that you do to keep your bodies and minds healthy in the face of that sort of steady stream of learning which causes anxiety?
So something that I often say to myself when I'm getting really anxious over this small thing, like, well, it's not really fair to call it a small thing if it really matters in my final score, but if I'm getting really anxious over this event, like a test, then I'll tell myself I have to live until I'm 100 years old, so that this test will only be 1% of my life.
Or less.
Or less.
One way for us to think about anxiety or comparing ourselves with others is to recognize the uniqueness, the unique advantage of ourselves that may transform into our own lives rather than trying to live a life that is not ours.
We as adults need to begin to understand this stage and then deal with our anxiety first.
Consilience, not conciliation, consilience. This is the idea of bringing different disparate disciplines together in a way to find a common solution, or at least a way of addressing a common problem. Consilience, because that's the way we're going to solve these problems over time. We see you as being the future. We want you to be successful. We want you to have, the opportunity to live your lives fully in healthy environments. And I know that's at risk. I know that you feel that's at risk because of what my generation has done or not done to provide a safer, a more certain future for young people. I think this has changed. Young people with very bright futures, very capable. The leadership here at Keystone is, I think, doing everything the right way to build a generation of young people who will be not only knowledgeable, but I think people that will be able to demonstrate empathy for the human condition and others that are, with them in that human condition.